Hello everyone, my name is Danish Buns. Welcome back to another exhilarating game of me failing at Starcraft 2. Today I'm actually going to go about it with a friend, and my friend shall be a man by the name of Archughhhhhhhh. That's right, Archughhhhhhhhh. Archughhhhhhhh. That's how I assume you pronounce it, right? That's gotta be how you say it. I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking when he named himself. He's a gentleman. He's a scholar. And his name is Archughhhhhhh. Our opponents shall be Mr. Stigma NG Phoenix. And in the bottom left corner, it is Stigma Sniper. Sniper. I'm going to assume it's Sniper. That sounds like an appropriate name. And so basically, that's right. We got a ZT versus TT. I don't know. This is never going to be a pro game that is 2v2 and is actually weird enough to be professional. That sentence didn't really make any sense. There will never be a pro 2v2, but I thought I'd show you my incredible ability in terms of my 2v2 gameplay as well as Archughhhhhhh's ability to play. So as you can see, beginning the game off right, scouting out our Terran opponents, making sure they're not doing anything too silly. Archughhhhhhh is very politely walling off in front of my main base because honestly, I get a little self-conscious. I don't really like people peeking at me in the early hours of the game. So basically, I hide a bit. I like to hide. I'm going to get out just as I see these two racks coming up, but really nothing too incredibly interesting was accomplished from that. I didn't see anything ridiculous in terms of gas. Of course, now he starts building more gas, so, you know, 5 more seconds would have been useful, but that's fine. It's alright. It's okay. I'm used to it. I'm honestly not surprised by my inability to figure things out. So, the game is progressing pretty standardly, pretty normally. Guys, if you like this StarCraft 2 content, if you want to see more silly games like this, definitely post in the comment section below and tell me, because I'll do way more. I will do way more. If you guys want to see higher level play, if you guys want me to cast some more impressive games that actually demonstrate, you know, measurable amounts of skill, say that as well, and I'll try and cast some more appropriate games, and hopefully that's enjoyable. Hopefully someone getting owned in under 20 minutes is something that you'd enjoy to see, right? That seems like a dream to me personally. Anyways, what we're seeing right now is pretty standard. I'm macroing up pretty hard, getting a couple Zerglings and my queen out. My buddy Archughhhhhh is getting some more racks out, getting some Marines. Really going to be playing it like a pro, thankfully. You know, he could have been awful, but he decided, you know what, I'm gonna be nice just because I'm playing with Mr. Danish Buns. All right, we have a weird assortment of workers in the gas. You know, you could have, I guess that's efficient. I don't even know. That's sort of weird. We got appropriate gas going on down here with Sniper, and so that's a good thing. We got everything going right. The game is getting ready to begin. The Zerglings are popping out. Queen is going to spit on this, all over this hive in right now. There we go. Going to pump out some more Zerglings. Get that Zergling army up, really. Don't have Zergling speed, but still, it's a decent-sized force in terms of holding the line and not being owned within 2 to 3 minutes. Going for that expansion. Got to get that money, that cash money. My overlord is just sitting here being polite and just really not trying to be rude in any way, just peeking in over the curtains, seeing what they're going on about, which, you know, would be very rude and creepy. I'm not saying I do that. I'm saying it would be weird, okay? All right, that's fine. He sees some of his brethren dead in the crevices. I actually never noticed that before. Wow. That's sort of depressing, really. Overlords, carcasses just sitting there. Ugh. Alright, we got a random drone that I've accidentally left out. We've got a extractor that's just relaxing for a little bit while it does absolutely nothing. High quality play. High quality play. And as for he's doing well. He's doing well, getting that starport up. Got that engineering bay. Not pumping out any window mines so far as I can tell. But he is getting some marines, some marauders, building up that standard size base. Our opponent has built a sensory tower for some weird reason. Not actually sure why. But what's this coming out of Mr. Danish Buns? Oh, baby girl. Nidus Network. Danish Buns getting ready for some ridiculous play. I'm referring to myself in the third person because it sounds less creepy. Alright, Nidus Network is up. Danish Buns is excited. We now understand the purpose of this overlord, but the sensory tower is going to pick up everything. How is Danish going to fool his opponent and get that overlord inside the opponent's base to take advantage of all these zerglings? I'm shivering to see what I did in the past because I clearly have very terrible memory. I'm like a goldfish. It's not it's really actually, it's pretty negative. It actually detriments my life quite extensively. But anyways, back to something that isn't as depressing. The Overlord looking for a place to drop in secretly. Sort of sees these guys right here, I believe. Oh, yep. Sees one of the engineering bays, immediately has a panic attack because now I can't drop there. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. I'll figure something out. We'll do things. Meanwhile, our Terran friend, Mr. Archughhhhhhh, is getting his army together, really getting everything ready. Some drones popping out over there, and Danish Buns going in for the positioning. He's going in to find a nice place on the edge, even though the sensory towers can clearly see the Overlord. As we can see, everyone's getting excited and ready to play. You know, no action has happened and it's only 10 minutes in. This is how intense Bronze League level play is. Alright. Overlord sitting there, starting to mine out my expansion. I'm the only one who has expanded, meaning my income is slightly more than your average noob. Oh, Danish. Oh, Danish spreading the creep. Spreading the creep. What does Stigma see? Of course he sees everything. He sees everything, and for some reason, the creep does nothing. I'm just sitting here, trying to be subtle. Danish Buns, what will he do? Oh no, Danish! Danish loses the Overlord. Danish, what are you gonna do now with that Nidus Network? Let me spoil the surprise, everyone. I'm gonna do absolutely nothing. That was it. I lost that Overlord, and I actually haven't felt that emotionally distraught ever. And so I just totally gave up. No more Nidus Network. Tears were shed, but that's fine. I still have a decent-sized army. I can actually, no, I don't really have a decent-sized army, but it's alright because I'm making that moolah. I'm macroing up. I have 14 out of 24 workers in my base. I hope all of you realize this is Heart of the Swarm. Very pretty. Build 2 spore crawlers so that I don't get harassed by any of this anti-air, or air rather, that we can see is very, very relevant right now. We can see that our opponent is really building up what they need to build to make air, right? If you just look around, there's 3 engineering depots, there's gotta be air coming. Logic. I have it. Our Terran is building some turrets himself. I must have accidentally told him we're gonna get air. Honestly, I regret everything. But still, I'm mining out of 2 bases. I'm not doing too terribly, and my creep spread has officially begun. It grows at about 1 meter hour, so you can expect to see that to continue. But now, Danish Buns moving out. What will he do? Probably just sit in the middle of the map. Anticlimactic. Anticlimactic. That's a word. Checking for the expansions. And I check over here because I don't want them to get gold. I don't know. Just for the fun of it. Getting some more roaches out. Really getting some upgrades. As we can see, I've got a fair amount of zerglings and roaches. My buddy, Archughhhhhhh, has a fair amount of marines and medevacs, but our opponents have quite a few siege tanks, so any sort of assault is going to be difficult. As we can see, getting into this bottom area, cleaning up. Ooh, Danish Buns. I still end up not on top because of that one, or two rather, Widow Mines. Two Zerglings trying to deal the damage that they know they can't deal. Widow Mine just confused, disoriented, not really knowing what's going on. That's fine, that's how I play this game as of right now. Archughhhhhhhh getting the gameplay ready. He's already 1-1. I am only 1-0. And our opponents are 1-1 as well. So what I sacrificed in upgrades, I spent on this Nidus network. And so far, it's really not actually paid off whatsoever. Units lost, quite extensive, but it's fine. It's actually not extensive at all, but I am mining quite efficiently. As you can tell, this is one action-packed game. Everyone is turtling, having a good time, and achieving pretty much nothing. But I do have map control. I do have map. 2 Zerglings. I have vision. Actually, just a single Zergling and a drone. You know, who needs drones to actually do things? I just sit them on the watchtower and just let them relax, take a break from their daily work. We got some Widow Mines over here, really going to hold off this front entrance. Nothing really is going to get past these few fellas, especially if it's Zerglings, because as I learned very quickly, Zerglings are so pathetically weak that you will lose an entire army to about 2 to 3 Widow Mines. Depressing. Roaches, on the other hand, have a fair bit amount of armor and will be able to withstand that sort of damage, but still, it's sort of depressing. Ooh, what are we going to see here? Some Vipers out of Danish Buns. That is going to be exhilarating. Getting some Terran vehicles and Terran armor and Terran infantry things. I'm only going for 2-1. I don't even need armor. Armor is just not a necessary thing. Oh, now I have armor, so apparently it is a necessary thing. You know what else is necessary? Zerglings and spreading my creep. 1 creep tumor at a time. Again, efficient. Going for that 3rd expansion, going to get some more income out of me. That's good. That makes sense, right? Money's important. Our Terran is actually going for more income as well. Starting to get mined out in their base. We got a couple Thors coming out of our Terran opponents as well as just a ton of Marines. They have been upgraded and they have tactical shield and stim packs. So they're going to be a little bit of a jiffy to handle with. I don't know. Is that even correct terminology? Probably not. Ooh, creep spread continuing out from Mr. Danish. Really pushing it out there. Still only at 14 workers. Of course, I would claim that is being efficient, but it really isn't. Building a spire. Alrighty, so we're actually going to see some interesting stuff out of Danish Buns. Ooh, getting adrenal glands for those Zerglings. Really going to go for some late game Zergling play. Because when in doubt, just use Zerglings. Honestly, sometimes they are just ridiculous. Alright, we got some Vipers now. Interesting to see what you're going to use from the Vipers. Now, as you can see, they got one really cool move that I really love to use, and that's Blinding Cloud. That reduces attacking range of ranged units to melee range. So if you can get some fungal growths off in a massive packet of Terran units and then just poison cloud them, they will not be able to do anything. Of course, this is counteracted by the fact that I have way too many melee units, so they will actually still be able to do things. But hopefully not as much as I would like to imagine. 3rd expansion is now up. Income is now still at the same level because I don't know how to fill expansions. And we actually have some Ultralists coming out. I don't even remember making them. That's how well I played this game. I was just in awe of my ability that I didn't realize that I actually made things that I did make. I guess that makes sense, right? All right. Finally going to see a 3rd coming out of our friendly Stigma clan Terrans. So many medevacs. So many medevacs. Archughhhhhhhh really going for that heavy medevac play. I don't know. I heard booster things, Ignite afterburners. That's the technical term. I'm just going to go with booster things. That just makes more sense. I heard that booster things actually were OP, but I didn't realize that making 8 billion medevacs would benefit them. Apparently it does. What do I know? I have Zerglings, and I'm going to be using them heavily in late game. That's just my strategy. No fungals coming out of me either. You don't need infestors. You just need vipers. Just throw clouds everywhere. Blind all the roaches. Because that actually can happen. Alright. Couple roaches sneaking down in here, achieving nothing. Actually. Did they achieve anything? Something was sent down here. There was an attack. There was a heroic attempt made at an assault. Here we go. Here we go. Danish Buns moving in for the kill. And, oh! Danish Buns cleans up one SCV before dying pathetically. Oh! Kills the other SCV and then dies pathetically. As you can see, lost a fair amount. Thankfully, I've been mining more efficiently than everyone else. Mutalisks! In this game, I actually tried to make every single unit, just to vary it up a bit. Alrighty. So, we got a massive transfer of workers going on right now. Gonna be filling out this expansion. Income's a little low, but actually still doing better than all my opponents and my teammates. So, I am clearly not the most epic noob, but I am slightly noob. Oh! What can we see here? A joint assault moving out. Archughhhhhhhh and Danish going to try and deal some damage to 3 missile turrets. I can guarantee it won't go well. Banelings walking into Widow Mines. Oh, well. One Baneling, the hero Baneling, just didn't have it in him to continue on after his brothers so valiantly exploded on themselves. Don't take that the wrong way. Alrighty. Zergling units running in. Widow Mines have just wasted all their ammunition. But the Zerglings get wasted. And, oh my goodness, so many Thors. We should watch this battle. Oh my goodness. Danish Buns. Now. Danish Buns. Danish Buns. How do you feel emotionally after getting completely obliterated? And I have to say to that question that I just asked myself, I'd have to say to that, heartbroken. I'd be heartbroken, and I was heartbroken. That was ridiculous. But thankfully, I am building nothing right now because I don't need to. Because I'm doing more important things. Ah, here we go. There we go. Just make 24 roaches. Just make them. You don't need to worry about that. Just make 24 roaches and you'll be fine. While our Terran opponent makes Thors, they get upgraded to 3-3. And I'm sitting at 2-2 on everything. Except for air. For air, I'm sitting at 0-0 because who needs 2-2? But see, I have a strategy. When facing Thors, here's what you do. Here's the hard counter to Thors. Are you ready? A ton of Banelings. Just so many Banelings. Alright. Danish Buns. Danish Buns. What are you going to do here? Danish Buns. Banelings! And it still didn't do anything. Oh, and we can see our Terran ally finally comes in with the assist. Dealing that damage, recovering for my slight failure. I'm just going to say slight and hope that none of you actually look at this massive gargantuan number right there. Roaches are going to get caught a little bit out of position right now. But we can see our opponent has a lot of Vikings, actually way too many Vikings. And they're going to be able to do a lot of damage to those medevacs, but in reality, it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. More Zerglings running in. The sacrificial Zerglings getting hit by those Widow Mines, but are still going to be able to take out a lot of those workers. Units moving in. Roaches going to try and clear up these expansions. Our opponents still haven't expanded up to here, so we don't have to worry about getting owned. As we can see, the only reason Danish Buns is still in this is that his macro is 30 to 40 times better than his micro. That's what we really learned from this entire engagement, okay? Just if you could walk away with anything, just walk away with that. Danish Buns and clearing up the last bit of this army. And still amassing those Zerglings because they are a late game unit. Keep moving out, gonna keep dealing some of that damage. So many Widow Mines, so many Siege Tanks. Really dealing so much damage, but at this point, the Roaches are just too strong. Gonna clean up the rest of these workers, and the unit's lost tab is beginning to equal out. Running in Zerglings because, I don't know, they just want to play. Gonna have to pull back as tries to deal some damage, but those Widow Mines are too strong. The hard counter to Widow Mines, honestly, has not been figured out yet by Danish and but I can guarantee in the next 60 minutes of gameplay, we will find out. Moving the units out, just making sure that they haven't expanded to anywhere silly other than this small area right here. So many Widow Mines still holding off any sort of possible engagement. Marching in one single Zergling as one Hero Marine tries to get away with not dying. Ooh, those Widow Mines still dealing heavy damage. You know, instead of scouting with just an army, well, that just happened. Wow, well, obliteration. I would say obliteration is my middle name, but I think in actuality it's obliterated. Embarrassing. But it's fine, because I have Swarm Hosts, the ultimate destroyer of worlds. They will actually deal some amount of damage and not die horribly. Which is actually sort of interesting, really. Now, we can see our Terran units are too scared to expand anywhere, and they have no money. But they have dealt so much damage to me that I'm almost too embarrassed to continue this video. Finally getting 3-3. Going to actually be able to do things now versus what I was doing previously. Danish Buns cleans up those Widow Mines. Gotta make sure I don't lose that Overseer. That would not be good. As we see, our Terran is actually cleaning up as well, setting that Overseer to actually assist him with his army. Gonna march in some more of these Locusts. Actually got the Locust upgrades, so I'm actually gonna be able to do things with them instead of just have them sit around, do nothing. Got a couple Banelings popping out. The units lost tab. We can see that the other team has lost way more than I have personally, which is all I aim to do. All I aim to do. I'm going to continue to march these Locusts in, see if I can deal any more damage before dying. But in reality, they won't be able to achieve much. And here comes some Banelings. Ooh. Dealing a lot of damage, but not enough to take out any of the rest of these units. However, the Swarm Hosts will deal a fair bit of damage. Danish Buns is going to have to be careful. Pulls back a little bit out of sheer nervousness. Zerglings will be marched in suicidally, because why the hell not? Actually managing to take out a Thor. Sort of surprising. Still got these Thors to deal with, and we still got 0 income out of both of these Terran players. Now, honestly, Zerglings at this point and all these Locusts should really be put to use. But I'm actually only producing more Zerglings. I actually am going pure Zergling right now. I don't know why. I have no idea why. As we can see, Archughhhhhhhh doing very well, getting those upgrades for his Terran vehicle weapons, really making it so that his siege tanks, which do not exist, will deal a ton of damage. More Swarm Hosts moving in, trying their best to not die pathetically, as well as the Banelings getting ready to deal some damage. Now we see our Terran players are again trying to get some income. Still at pretty low. Also, my ally is... that was a weird one. That was a weird I'm not going to go into detail as to how I made that sound, but let's just assume that Nope, let's not assume anything. Let's just move on. Some drones sitting around doing nothing. Standard Danish Buns play. As well as just a bunch of Zerglings and Banelings sitting in the middle of the map. Now, as we can see, we have the Thors moving out, trying to deal some damage. But really not going to happen with this many Banelings. Cleaning that up a bit. And our Terran units have lost quite a few units. Let's just ignore the units lost by the Zerg. Alright, moving in with more Swarm Hosts. I still haven't learned that you can set the wow, I was like a record there. Set the rally point of your Swarm Hosts actually farther inwards. That was actually really terrible. I just scratched. I could have been a rapper right there. That was sort of insane. Getting ready to expand yet again because I've basically mined out here. Only about 210 minerals left. Got the Zergling units here, but my Terran player, my Terran buddy old pal, really needs that income. So I'm actually going to sacrifice my clear gold expansion to let him get some cash money, while I continue to build my massed Baneling army. I actually have some Banelings sitting here. In reality, honestly, we should have just marched in and killed everything because they have absolutely nothing. They have nothing. I could have sent in these Zerglings and won the game, but that would have been too easy. That would have been too easy. Instead, I'm just going to march Wormlos. I'm going to march Warlost. I can't say words. I'm going to march Swarm Host. What is wrong with me right now? Am I dehydrated? That was really bad. And my voice is also getting higher pitched, which is also a sign that I am thirsty and or hungry. Expanding with the Banelings, not attempting to attack anything because I'm really scared. Genuinely a chicken. But really, we should actually speed this up a bit because nothing's really happening. Alright, we see the Swarm Hosts moving out a little bit more. We finally see some mining actually happening with the two Terran players. Building up that army, that Swarm Locust army, which really isn't going to achieve much because it's too far back. Got a couple of my Ultralists just relaxing, really doing nothing. Moving the Swarm Host a little bit closer, finally actually trying to achieve something. It baffles my mind why the Terran doesn't actually build here. Expanding here really doesn't make any sense to me, but at least they're getting minerals now. They're getting something close to what I was getting. Our ally Archughhhhhhhh is coming out trying to deal with these Marines and Banshees actually that are attacking me. Swarm Locust still trying to get in there and dealing some damage. They are not able to do that. Baneling sitting at this expansion, ready for the uneventual army. That really didn't make sense either. Waiting for that army. I'm just butchering everything today. It's fine, Danish. We still love your inability to speak. Alright, Swarm Hosts coming in here. We're going to clean this up, deal some damage. I'm going to slow it down a bit now. Ultralists cleaning things up. Death apparent to these Terran players. I am still marning. Oh my goodness. I can't speak. What is going on? But it's time. Danish Buns, it's time. Deal the damage. Banelings are OP. I've lost by far the most units in this game, but I don't really care. Locusts are just dealing heavy damage. Actually, our opponent's going air, which is interesting to me because that's probably the only thing I will actually lose to. Banelings rolling around, just being silly, being goofballs like they naturally are. Who needs to micro them away? It doesn't even matter. They're just going to sit there and relax, really. Finally moving those Banelings in. Gonna get cut off by the Swarm Locusts, but that is alright. Finally busting those two racks down, diminishing some of that movement by the Terran player, as the rest of my army attempts to clean up whatever is left. Alright. Moving out some Corruptors now to deal with these. I say these because I thought it was plural, but it's actually just a single battle cruiser. Corruptor's going to clean up that Raven, finally take out that battlecruiser. Storm Locusts are actually going to begin to move in. As we can see, still no income from our players, and I still have lost by far the most. And that, my friends, was the end of the game. Exhilarating, wasn't it? My name is Danish Buns. I hope you enjoyed this really low-level play, and I hope you enjoyed the fact that I am not very good at the English language. I will see you next time. See you guys later.